What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So if you guys have been watching the channel, you'll know that my BMW F30 is pretty much done. I've done every mod that I wanted to do to it. I'm not doing any more mods. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to be parting out the car, so we'll have some videos about that. But otherwise guys, this car is pretty much done and it's done on the channel. But since it's done, I want to kind of just give you guys my thoughts about the build, a few things. But in today's video, we're going to focus on some of the mods that I regret doing, some of the ones that I think maybe you guys should avoid, and some that I probably only did for YouTube, if I'm being honest, and that I probably wouldn't have done otherwise. Now for context, if you guys didn't know already, this is my 2017 BMW 330i, aka an F30. It is my daily driver, hence why I got the 4-cylinder as opposed to the 6-cylinder. And I have been building this car on the channel. I pretty much filmed everything on it, like every mod, every maintenance, like literally everything. But since I've been filming this car for YouTube, I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of fell into the trap of like just trying to find mods for the sake of making a video. Now, not entirely, I haven't been too bad about it, but there's definitely some stuff that I didn't necessarily want to do to the car, but I ended up doing just so I can have another video. But that's not the only reason why some of these mods are going to be on the list. Some of them honestly just did, and I just ended up regretting, or they ended up not being too good of quality, or they ended up breaking, or something like that. But with that said, guys, let me just jump into the list, and I'll explain each mod one at a time. All right, so the first item on my list are these carbon fiber M-style mirror caps. Now, this is something that I've typically loved in the past, but as my taste has kind of evolved, I'm not a huge fan of them. If I were to do it differently, I would have either done a painted M-style, so that way it kind of looks cleaner on the car, or a carbon fiber non-M-style. One or the other, but I definitely want to have done both, like carbon and M-style. That's just me, guys. I think overall it would have looked cleaner if that was the case. This to me looks like it's a little much on this 4-cylinder 330i, so if I could go back, I would have definitely done that differently. So while we're in this area, the next thing I regret is these carbon fiber side skirt extensions. I've never been a big fan of side skirt extensions on cars. That's why I never did it on my 435, but since I was kind of going a little crazy on this car at some point, I figured I'd do it. Now, they are cool, and I think they'll definitely suit your car if your car is a little more aggressive. However, for me, I feel like they're a bit much, especially with that little triangle thing there. When I first installed them, I wasn't sure how I felt about them. Wasn't necessarily crazy about them, but honestly, over time, I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's just a bit much. I think I would have just liked the M Sport side skirt without the extension personally. But let me know what you guys think, because some people actually really like them. Me, you know, not the biggest fan of it. And then not only that, the one on this side, one, it's helped this side skirt pop out more, which is already an issue with the car. And then you guys can tell it started coming off. Nothing too crazy. I didn't put screws in these things because they're so thick. I just kept the 3M tape, but this one started failing. I don't know, maybe dust got in there, because I'm surprised this 3M tape started failing. It's actually super strong tape. But regardless, these are going to be coming off soon anyways. But yeah, just me personally, guys, if I could go back, I would not do these again. Now, the next thing on my list is one that I don't necessarily regret, but it kind of just went south ever since putting it on. And that is the lip spoiler right over here. I actually love the style that I picked. From the get-go, I went with a more subdued, more subtle, like M Performance style, rather than getting like the M4 style ones, or one that's like super high kick. I think this one, design-wise, is perfect. It suits the car. However, there is a problem with it. Since this thing sits on the top of the car, and by that I mean like if you're outside, the sun is gonna come right down on it. You guys can see it's definitely faded and taken some damage. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but yeah, it doesn't look the best now. So if I could go back, what I would do differently is just get a gloss black one. I think it still would have looked good. It would have looked really clean, probably even cleaner than the carbon one. And I wouldn't have had these same issues, it being in the sun and just getting damaged. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell on camera, but underneath the spoiler, it is in much better condition. But again, guys, I love the style of it. I love the M Performance style. But, you know, just the material. I just would have gotten a gloss black one, which would also be cheaper. All right, so the next one on my list, guys, I actually don't regret in terms of just my car in general. The reason why I regret it is, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this car is my daily driver. So I drove this car a lot. And as you can tell, some of the mods have taken a beating. Specifically, this one that I'm about to show you guys, you can probably already guess what it is. But yeah, like on my 435, I didn't drive that car as much. On my M3, I don't drive it as much. I have front lips on those cars, and I think it's totally fine. On a daily driver, just avoid front lips, because as you guys can tell, mine took a bit of a beating. Just look at that. They look really good, like absolutely love the way that they look. I think if you're building a show car, definitely do one. But if you have a daily driver, probably don't do an expensive carbon front lip. It's probably not the best route to go. If you want to do one for that extra aggression, maybe just do like a gloss black one from eBay for like 50, 60, maybe $100. This one goes for like $550 new, which is a lot of money. And if you destroy it, you know, there goes that money down the toilet. But this one is a bit of a weird one because honestly, guys, like absolutely loved it. Even it being carbon fiber, I thought it looked amazing. I love the design of the Varis style front lip. If you guys are wondering, this is the Varis style. It's not the M Sport one, so I think it looks absolutely amazing. Like, it definitely added an extra element of aggression to this front car that it desperately needed, in my opinion. But again, it's just way too low combined with those lowering springs, and then, you know, the fact that I got destroyed, I can't help but regret it. You know, I just wish I got an M Sport 1 gloss black. I think it would have looked really good on this car. It wouldn't have been as low as this front lip, so that's another thing to consider. But yeah, this is definitely one of those mods, guys, that, you know, given the circumstances, I ended up regretting it. But originally, I was actually super excited and super stoked about it. But yeah, doesn't look as good as when I first got it. I mean, look at that. The whole piece underneath fell off. That's pretty bad. So the next and last mod on my list of mods that I regret and I wish I could have, you know, done differently when I was modding this car is what I kind of hinted at before while talking about the front lip, and that is the lowering spring. So if you guys didn't know, this car is lowered. It's lowered on H&R Sport Springs, not the Super Sports. These ones are already way too low, so I can only imagine the Super Sports. But yeah, regardless, I do regret these springs. Now, I will say I love the way that the car looks lowered. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Is it too low? Not necessarily. Like, I don't think that the car sits too low on these springs. With the front lip, it's definitely too low. But if you were to lower the car on the springs and not have a super aggressive front lip or no front lip at all, I think you'd be fine. So it's definitely not the ride height that I regret. Even considering that this is a daily driver, like, I don't mind that ride height as a daily driver. Again, the sports, not the super sports. But the thing that I regret most about it is the pain and the ride quality. So it is cool that the car sits lower, it has a lower center of gravity, it handles a little better, like it feels like it doesn't have as much body roll, and it feels like it hugs the highway a little better. However, once you go over any little bump, you feel it. It feels really bad. I did a whole detailed video about that, so I kind of explained why that might happen. If you guys want to watch that, go check out that video. But yeah, just overall, the ride quality is not the best. If I were to go back and do it again, I would, one, either not lower the car, which I kind of can't do for YouTube, and then the other option, which would have been the best of both worlds, would be doing coilovers, doing a proper set of coilovers so you get a better ride quality, so that way you can adjust the ride height as you see fit. I think springs are a great way to lower your car on a budget, or if you're like me, if you just wanted to lower the car so it looks good for the internet, which in hindsight was not the best thing to do. But otherwise, guys, that's pretty much everything on my list. There's really not that many things that I regret getting on this car. Overall, I think it turned out absolutely amazing. I love the way that it looks. So for the most part, I love everything that I put on this car. But again, there's just a few things that I regret that I wish I can go back on. But in the future, I'm trying to do a better job about that. I will say, though, there's a lot of stuff that I absolutely love on this 330 that I think absolutely transformed the car for me and just made it feel that much better and made me love the car that much more. So if you guys want to see that list, that will be the next video. So please, if you haven't already, hit that like button. But with that said, guys, this video is pretty much done, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.